Okay guys, so welcome to this next tutorial, and in this tutorial I will show you the basics of sculpting. So this will be beginner friendly tutorial, and I will explain each brush, and at the end there will be a small demo of like sculpting, and yeah, I hope you will enjoy it. So this is aimed mostly for beginners, and I will expand this like tutorial series to more advanced, but yeah, we have to start from the beginners and then we can like do more advanced stuff. So let's first delete everything that is not related to sculpting, so camera and lightning, and let's add a subdivision modifier to this cube. So there's a shortcut. If you click Ctrl 2, it will add a subdivision with the level. So I click 2, so I have 2, so I maybe I can change it to 3 or more, for example 4, and let's click apply and change to sculpting mode. And I actually have my own sculpting, but maybe I will change it to sculpting so we will have the same, guys. So okay, first thing is the toolbar. So you have toolbar here, and basically here you have the all properties that are related to your current brush that you are using. On the left hand side you have actually the different types of brush, and each brush serves their own purpose, and each one is useful in different cases. And I will roughly, or I will just go I will explain each brush to you. So let's start maybe from the toolbar properties, and I will tell about what properties is the most useful one, and about the others I will talk later maybe, and maybe also in the different tutorials, in the next tutorial. So as you can see here, you have the name of the brush. This is called draw brush. Here you have the preview of what it does to your model, and as you can see, it basically draws something on your model. So let's check if you have your draw brush. Yeah, it does exactly what it looks like. So it draws the geometry on your brush. Yeah, not on your brush, on your model. So first property is called radius, and basically this is the radius of your brush. So it is specified by the red circle that you can see on, and that is on my cursor. So this is the radius of my brush, and if I increase it, I have the bigger radius. And the shortcut for this radius is F. So if you click F, you can change the radius of your brush. Yeah, so it's really nice. And the next one is called strength, and I hope you understand. Basically the name tells for itself. So this is strength of the brush. So if I change it to very small number, you can see that there's very subtle effect, and I have to really try hard to make it look like, to make it visible. But if you change it to 1, yeah, you can see that the strength is really strong. I don't know how to say it. So default is 0.5. So the next, also the shortcut for the strength is Shift F. So you can change the strength on Shift F. So the next like property is here. Basically it's next to the radius and also next to the strength, and this, if you have it enabled, it means that this will use your pen pressure. If you have a drawing tablet, this will use your pen pressure. So if I press for example, I have only the radius enabled now, so I can show you. So if I press very lightly, you can see the smaller circle that shows my current radius, and it will be bigger if I press it harder. So if I press this very hard, you can see the radius is now the biggest, and if I press very lightly, the radius is very small. So this will change, depends on how strong you press your pen to your drawing tablet. And this is useful if you are, for example, drawing the eyelashes. You want this part to be very light, but then you want this part to be bigger. So yeah, you can make the eyelashes, this maybe it doesn't look like eyelashes, but I hope you understand the purpose of this. And there's also this icon with the strength, and it does the same. So if I press very light, the effect is very subtle, but if I press strong, you can see that it makes this stronger. Okay, so these are two, this is done, and let's move on to the next one. So here you have this locker icon on next to the radius and strength, and you can see that this is unlocked. So basically it means that the radius of my brush will not be relative to my viewport. So for example, you can see that if I make this brush very small like this, I can only sculpt on this area, but if I move it far away, so my mesh is very small right now, you can see that my radius is not like scaling properly, like correct relatively to the size of my sphere. So if I now sculpt, you can see that it's sculpted on all my mesh, and if I have this locker enabled, this will have the constant like static size. So you can see here it's 0.18 meters. So this will sculpt this small area, and if I move it far away, this will scale properly to my viewport. So it will always stays the same size, and if I don't have it enabled, it will change dependent on your viewport. And on default this is left at unlocked, and you have the same with the strength. So basically the strength, this is locked because you want your strength to be the same no matter how far from how far you are from your model, or how close you are. You want the strength to be the same. But if you don't, just unlock it, and if you are, for example, far away, you can see that it makes it very strong. So maybe leave it locked so you can control it better. Okay, so this is like the most important properties of the brush, and I will explain the last one, which is this one, and the others I will explain later or in the future videos. So let's talk about this. As you can see, each brush, if I change to each brush has the same properties, and each brush has this two icons. So you have add and subtract. So it basically means that each brush has its own like effect, but it can also do the reverse effects. So if I change it to subtract, you can see that now if I draw, it will make the indents instead of the peaks. So if I change it to add, it will again make the peaks. So let me undo it with Ctrl Z, and the shortcut for this is holding the Control while you're drawing. So now I'm drawing normally, but if I hold Control, it will change to subtract, You can't see it here, but this is beta, so I think they will change it. So if you hold control and now you start drawing, you can see that it has the negative effect on your model. So, and you can do it with each brush, and because every brush has their own negative version. Okay, so this will be it, guys, for the most important whoa, what is this? Properties, yeah. And now we can talk about brushes. So maybe I will move them to the other tutorial. So see you guys in the other tutorial.